you're very hardworking people, you're smart people, you're the smartest people that I know. And my job's always been working for the people, and that's what I've always done, and I'll get into that in a minute. Just to sort of introduce myself. Myself and my family, we dairy farmed just east of Lindsay and North Emily on the Kings Wharf Road for many years, up until 2012. And I would like to have kept dairy farming full time, but it's like any other farm. You know, in the dairy industry, you know, you have to get bigger or get robotic, get more into debt, buy more cattle, more quota. You know, I would love to have kept farming full time. I still do farm. I still have my farm registration number. I have 3 cattle and 2 mini horses, and actually I have my OFA membership, and I'm Don, you brought a good point. Kind of disappointed in OFA that I can't get discounts at PV anymore. They don't give it on feed, so which is kind of weird because, you know, but anyways, I'm not knocking OFA, but I think that we do need more aggressive, you know, representation in the farm groups. So my wife and I have been married 32 years. My wife's an immigrant to Canada. She came from New Zealand. We met in Fiji actually in 1988. I was on an exchange in New Zealand and on a farm, on a dairy farm, and we met actually in Fiji. So we have 4 sons, and ranging in age from 23 to 30. So, so one of the things that, not so much about myself, let's talk about what the current things are. So I represent Ward 6, which is pretty close to 9,000 people, everything east of Lindsay from if you know where the drive-in is, everybody knows where the drive-in, everywhere from the drive-in to Pigeon Lake, taking all of Orimi, Downeyville, Dunsford, everything south from Snug Harbor all the way to Bob Cage, and actually I go right to, I take in part of the Kawartha Dairy, the new Kawartha Dairy. And so there's about 9,000 people that I represent, and it's certainly a humbling honor to be, you know, at the council chamber representing people. When I first ran, I was in before one time at Ward 14, and I ran in 2018. I got 20% of the vote, and then I worked my tail off to say to the people are going to work for you, which I always do. And I was very honored to be reelected with 60%, so I went from 20 to 60%. And you know, it's all about hard work, working for the people. I put the people first. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, you work for the people, and I can't speak for the other councillors. I mean, they're good people. They have a different way of maybe, you know, a different opinion on things, and that's fine. That's what it's all about, difference of opinion in council. And you're certainly not going to agree on anything, on everything, and I don't agree on a lot of stuff, but you know, I'm there to represent people, so I really enjoy that. So some of the things that, you know, for example, the last year, I've never changed. Like for example, the closure of the Ops Community Center. I was the last councillor standing. So there's no way we can tear down this community center. So I would never tear down your community center. Anyways, it was disheartening to see something like that go. But tomorrow, I have a memo on to try and get council support to save Lady Eaton Elementary School in Orimi.
Good.
You know, it's pretty tough to get. It's an uphill battle to change the mind of the school board trustees, albeit they are elected. But you know, it's really important that we give a message to them and say that, you know, that this is based on 10-year-old data like demographics in Omini, for example, which is one of the towns that I represent. It's growing. Like there's a lot of young people, and it seems a shame that you want to close the school, and that's one of the things that's disheartening. But you know, you fight, and that's what I do. One of the other things, 2 weeks ago, I was the only councillor that supported natural gas in it's all about your choice. Like we're not saying that you have to have gas, and this is, the motion came, I was kind of surprised that it came so quick, but anyways, it was for the phasing out of natural gas plants in Ontario. But if you look on every day there's a power, the IESO shows you the big 3, nuclear, natural gas, and hydroelectricity. They're the big 3, and you know, solar and wind and it's gonna take a long time for that to, to come to that point where they're gonna be replacing it. So and also, it puts in jeopardy some expansion into the city of Kawartha Lakes where people want gas, so.
Well, we need natural gas to dry corn.
Yep.
Everyone's
Yeah.
getting it.
Well, look at, Summerlin Co-op, they did get it, which was great, when they branched it up from Highway 7. But Kawartha area and Bob Cajun, they want it like you wouldn't believe, like they want natural gas, and they will get it, like that. There's a $70 million expansion from O'Meany to along Pigeon Lake Road to Bob Cajun, and that's going to go through. The other day, I was just at the yard. I'm going to post it on Facebook. All the pipeline, the pipes there are stored. They're ready to go. But it's just that it gives a message that we don't support natural gas. But I'm not going to change. So if I'm the only one that's going to be against that, then so be it. So that's what I did. But like,
was it approved? I have a question on the Zoom for that. Was it approved?
The one for the Bob Cajun? Yeah, that's approved. That's going to go ahead, which is great. It'll be, like I said, it's a $70 million project. It'll bring natural gas to Bob Cajun and everywhere along the way.
Sorry, what does that cost per household
Yeah,
for them
there's.
to install that?
Well, you can get a price off Enbridge. It varies where you are. Like right now, I'm trying to get prices for Lakeview Estates, or for example, Victoria Place. There's 215 homes in there. There's a lot of communities that live along there.
Technically,
I don't have that, but it's hard to say. It all depends really on population.
technically the taxpayer pays that.
Yeah, it's like.
The government doesn't pay.
Well, I think the government did contribute something to that project, but it's on a per location basis. Like you get a price of what it's going to cost to branch into your community.
Yeah, that was my question. Do you know what it is?
It just depends on where you are physically from the main line. So, but I think it's a good thing. So, so tomorrow. We got a few things on the go. We got a committee of the whole. I'll leave this, I'll touch on this at the last. So tomorrow we've got a committee of the whole meeting, and one of the things is on the committee of the whole is our health unit is coming to talk about climate change planning, and they want that put into this new. So I'm of the belief that I'm not. I kind of think that the health unit has strayed a bit from their core beliefs, like, and now they become so political now, and it's a shame, really. We're not concentrating on young people, especially, their nutrition, their exercise, and things like that. And that's what's really puzzling, that these things are being, endorsed. And so that's on the docket for tomorrow, amongst other things. But yeah, like I really encourage you to come to council, because that's, it's so, before last week, or a couple weeks ago, it was kind of disheartening when you see nobody sitting in the chairs. I'm sure there's some watching online, but we need to get more public participation. It's something that I certainly encourage everybody to come to, to council and watch the proceedings. Like, and get involved. Like, it's the only way. You've got to. And I'm an advocate for constituents. Like, I go and see them if they have an issue, and I work hard to get it resolved. And that's the way I like doing site visits. And unfortunately, it seems to be the trend now where they don't want you to do site visits. And I won't get into bylaw, but I'll leave that. I've had my experiences with bylaw, and I'll leave it like that, so I don't get into trouble again. But I wasn't in trouble. But anyways, I was. It is. I understand what you're saying about that. So it's like I said. It's all about representing the people, and that's what you're there for. You work for the people, and that's always been my job, is to work for the people, and I've always said to people, if there's only 3 people in life that can tell you what to do, those are your parents and your spouse. So I think that's, other than that, you should be a free thinker, and you should you should learn things, and I'm learning every day. So but I'm listening too, so I've got my ears on, and that's the main thing about being a counselor, is that you're listening to people. And it doesn't matter whether you're liberal or conservative, that's the beauty of municipal politics, like you should be, open to any discussion, so, and that's what I've always done, so, and, so with this new rural zoning bylaw, the last meeting that we had at council, I asked for a 2-month extension, so that was not accepted. So I thought, well, okay, I'll try 30 days, and then that didn't happen. But lo and behold, I did get a seconder for 15 days by Pat Ward, and I will give credit where credit is due. At least she seconded my motion.
Yeah.
So 15 days is better than nothing. That's Friday, I believe it is. So, even at that, it's not going to be passed until November. But I think if it is December, but into the next year, we should have an opportunity well into next year, early next year, to get this done right, because I've only printed out a little bit of it here, but there's hundreds of pages. But there are several things that, land that's going to be environmentally protected, abattoirs, food processing plants are going to be very, very difficult to construct and to get approvals for. It's going to be, it's quite a mammoth document, and you really have to read the whole thing. I've got to read over it again. Like, there's so much stuff there, and I encourage you to read it. I know we're busy, people are busy, but it's really important because you can't let this slip through without analyzing it, because this is sort of your blueprint for generations to come. So, I'm of the belief that we need to spend more time to get this right, and for as long as it takes. I know I'm in the minority on council, but I think I'm doing the right thing, that I'm working for the people, and they bring their concerns to me and bring them to other councillors too. We're not perfect, but I mean, I certainly work hard and listen to people. So, and that's what I've always done, and I'll continue to do so. So
Awesome. Can we ask
Yep.
you some
Yeah,
questions,
sure.
or do you have?
Can we switch
can
mics?
Can I do
Okay.
something?
yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just want to say thank you so much, Ron, for all your words. It means so much to have you here tonight, and for stepping up at the council meeting and speaking to the gas issue. It was quite a thing to witness, and we were all shocked that it happened, when we thought, maybe we should be paying attention to what's going on in our town council and looking at it. We just stopped at the rural zoning bylaw. We didn't even see that was what was being passed with the gas infrastructure. So this is why we really do need to be paying attention, and to be helping and supporting the councillors in there. He did a wonderful 10-minute presentation, and we put it online. I think you're at 10,000 views now. So, but with that, we were hoping we could ask some questions.
Yeah, sure.
And pass this around. Oh, and he mentioned that tomorrow there is a meeting, the committee of the whole,
Yeah.
and that they're passing the.
Well, there's several things on. I've got there's paramedic service master plan, which would be interesting. There's that going on. Response time plan, encroachments for different locations. That's sort of a standard fence encroachments. There's another thing. There's a clean and clear. Staff want to bring in a. They want to, realty staff, allow you to not worry about cutting your grass in urban areas. You can have your grass a foot high now. So they want to be a bee pollinator. You want to have all these fields that are, actually, there's a field between, there's 120 acres that the city owns between the correctional center and the landfill. And I had a local mental fellow that offered to cut the weeds free of charge. But they said, no, we're not going to allow that, because we want to make that into a pollinator field. So that's what we're doing with that. That's what they want to do with that. So that's another one that's coming tomorrow. And then the health unit is coming tomorrow, but the climate change, and that's what they're talking about tomorrow, and about wanting to have a total. I have it here. It's brief. All these briefing notes about.
Don't worry, I've looked at it too.
I won't get into climate change.
Oh, we will.
But you can if you want. But I'm just saying that You know, I'll listen to anybody, but I think one of the things,
But not tonight.
next week, no, we'll keep going. Next week, I'm gonna be meeting with the Kawartha Lakes Police Service Board. I was on that board for a couple of years, quite a few years ago, but I'm on the CPAC board, the OPP board. But the issue, and I'm really finding it so disheartening, like, you know, so many young people walking around, primarily, I'm not saying Lindsay, but all over, and people who are young people and families who are, you know, have drug issues with the fentanyl and all this purple heroin and everything that's on the street. That's really one of the emergencies that I see. People are, you know, like are having these drug problems, and I think the health unit should really concentrate on that and try and get that off the street. Yeah. And, you know, young people are our future, and you know, and mental health is an issue, especially after the last 3 years when, you know, they tell you know, the government's telling you to lock down and to stay at home and eat junk food and get fat. You know, that's basically what they said. So, and that's really had repercussions health-wise and mental health-wise, and increased drug use and alcohol use, and it's not good. So I mean, we need to deal with that. So that's another thing. And another thing also is trying to get more manufacturing and jobs coming here. That's what I've always I worked hard to get Brooklyn Concrete to come. That was my doing, because they didn't come unless they, you know, they had certain you know, encouragement to come. And I've been trying to get other distribution places. I'd love to get Amazon or Mahindra Tractor or some other companies like that, Mahindra, or you know, some of the other companies that would come and do distribution plants or manufacturing. We've got some great manufacturers in Kawartha Lakes and good private sector jobs, and we need more of those types of jobs. So I've always been an advocate for that. So, and the individuals, your rights as an individual, certainly landowners, like that's paramount. I mean, if you don't have individual rights, then you know,
Yep.
what's the use of you living? You know, so.
Thank you.
no problem.
Okay,